Risk of Rain 2 recently released their third DLC, Allied Collective, and I just want to say before we even get into this video, it's really good. Every part of it came out great, and if you do have Risk of Rain 2 and are still on the fence about whether it's worth picking up or not, I highly suggest it. Beyond that glowing admonition, we'll be talking about pretty much every aspect of the DLC here, with a small spoiler warning for the new bosses and the new Hidden Realm in case you still haven't experienced them for yourself and don't want to get spoiled. To start, the new survivors are both amazing. The starting one, Operator, has some of the smoothest feeling movement in the game once you've gotten a bunch of drones, with a really fun primary as well. Plus, since their abilities all work with the new drones, they reward you for just engaging with the new DLC. They're really fun and honestly pretty good, but the other survivor, Drifter, might be one of the best characters in the game despite being pretty much a true melee character. I don't think they dethroned Seeker, since Seeker is still absolutely busted. Turns out having a free Dio every stage is strong, but they do have some things they can do that are just crazy. This is because of the infinite temporary items they can create as long as they are using the base special Salvage and the alternate secondary Junk Cube, especially in stages like the Bazaar Between Time where the timer is stopped, and the alternate special Tinker that is a free recycler for your entire run. The infinite temporary items are technically held back by the fact that those items are temporary, but since you only lose one temporary item in a stack of them every 80 seconds, you should never have any problems with bosses in particular, and could hypothetically hit a Newt Shrine, make a ton of temporary items after stage 1 in the Bazaar, and then go to your stage 2 one-shotting everything, and repeat that after every stage. The power of Tinker, however, is that it is a really strong free macro ability to simply get the items you want more consistently. This obviously leads to more consistent runs, which leads to more successful runs, and is just all of the benefits of Recycler, but better. Plus, kidnapping a Halcyon and chucking them off the map is pretty fun. Before getting into the maps and enemies though, we have to talk about the drones. I love the changes this DLC. Not only did they make the TC-180 actually worth buying, it gave us a way to play even after dying in multiplayer, which is nice since I play a lot of split screen, on top of adding a ton of powerful drones. Of the new ones, my favorite is probably the Sweeper, since it just makes me money, but the Junk Drone is really cool as well. The only drone I felt is a little lackluster is the Bombardment Drone. Not only do I see it less than the Freeze Drone, I just don't really ever see it doing too much. Overall though, the drones are super good, and the fact that they're smarter makes buying drones without spare parts way more worth it. Next up are the maps, and I love these. Allied Collective added 7 new stages, including a new stage 2 and 3, 2 new stage 4s, a hidden realm, and 2 new boss stages. All of these maps are really well designed in my opinion, however, these are hard maps. This is because of the enemies, something we'll discuss later, but the new stage 2 and 3 are the hardest stages of their pools by far, and if you're struggling in a run, it might be worth going to the Bazaar and dreaming your way to a different stage. My favorite map that I've actually barely played is the new stage 4 repurposed crater, which there is a good amount of misinformation about right now. Stage 4s always have a way to get a red item in case you didn't know, and for repurposed crater, it's a legendary chest. The chest is always located on this map by looking around the edge for the golden tree. Some people say it's in the little alcoves on the outside of the map, but there is at least one other spawn outside of them, and the random spawn you get will be indicated by that golden tree that spawns near the chest. The other stage 4, Conduit Canyon, also contains a red chest, but you'll need to collect a sentry key for it, so make sure to grab an extra one. Now here's a small spoiler warning. I'll be discussing the Hidden Realm and the boss stages, so check the timestamp and skip to the next chapter if you don't want to be spoiled. All good? Alright. So the new Hidden Realm, Computational Exchange, is awesome looking. It contains my favorite new mechanic, the Chef Bot, and is just overall a great Hidden Realm. The boss stages, Solutional Haunt and Neural Sanctum, are both really cool. Solutional Haunt is a cool enough stage that definitely fits with the boss, but the real banger boss stage is Neural Sanctum. Neural Sanctum is a beautiful stage, and probably my favorite boss stage in the entire game, simply for the looks. They did a great job capturing the feeling of being in a digital realm, and between this, the boss, and the boss arena being these falling stages, I love it. This leads us into the new enemies of the DLC. Allied Collective adds quite a few new enemies, and this is really what makes the DLC difficult. The Solus enemies are rough, with the main ones to watch for being the Solus Scorcher and the Solus Invalidator. The Scorcher just does a lot of damage and is surprisingly hard to deal with, and the Invalidator can turn off your items for a few seconds, which will get you killed pretty fast if you get hit at a bad time. The boss enemy, when you hit the node to go to the Conduit Canyon, is also really hard, spawning a ton of enemies and dealing a bunch of area damage. And finally, spoilers again, the new bosses are great. Owlway Hunter seems a bit broken and buggy, but it's not usually a problem, at least for me. The main bosses are Soulless Wing and Soulless Heart, and of the two, surprisingly, Soulless Wing is actually a harder fight, but not in a way that feels unfair. I died the first few tries on Soulless Wing until I figured out the different mechanics, and it feels super rewarding once you finish it. The main thing to know is that you need to break the critical points to do any meaningful damage, and that you should lower them all to a really low amount before breaking any of them, since they will add new attacks every time they break. Soulless Heart is the new secret final boss, and while being really cool, he feels a bit weak. I only lost this fight the first time I did it because I didn't understand the laser attack, but every other time I fought him, I've done so with relative ease. This, on top of the fact that you have the ability to power up right before the fight with the chef mechanic, adds up to make a really awesome boss, but one that you don't really worry about too much. Now, we are on to the items. They didn't add too many of this DLC, which is good, and all of the items feel good. I just want to say, I recorded this before even looking at the lunar item. The lunar item is definitely the worst item in the entire DLC. It's a little buggy, it jumps around kind of weird, and there's no real consistent way to use it because it seems like if your drones kill the enemy, it also just goes to your drone and then your drone is stuck with it. Substandard Duplicator might be the worst of all of them since it just makes temporary items, but it's not even that bad of an item, and honestly, everything feels good. One of the new boss items even lets you hold two equipments and swap between them sort of like multi, opening up many new builds. Deus Ex Machina is also really fun and really strong, but not busted, rewarding skill with a shorter cooldown and triggering all on-hit items guaranteed for your next hit after a block. Faraday Spurs let pretty much every character skip pillars easily, and with one of the new whites giving critical chance, the items overall in this release are all just strong, useful, and fun without bloating the item pool too much. Most importantly, because we all know Risk of Rain 2 is a music game, the music. The soundtrack for Owlway Collective is, as you can imagine, another Risk of Rain 2 banger. This time not produced by Chris Christodoulou, but instead Stavros, who was involved in the Secret of Storm soundtrack, specifically I Should Build the Man a Statue. I just want to say that of these DLC tracks, Swamplified Mizzle absolutely clears, and as such we will now be listening to the best part of it, and there are timestamps if you want to skip this. It is just so peak. The whole set of tracks really combine the feeling of the other Risk of Rain 2 tracks with this techie digital sound that perfectly ties in the new digital collective that are the Soulless Probes. Finally, I just want to talk a little bit more about my new favorite mechanic here being the chef bot. If you don't want to be spoiled over it, then don't watch this part. And alright, the new chef mechanic is so good, and I cannot give it enough praise. It fully changes what items you may be keeping, scrapping, and just generally picking up during a run, and offers a new way to streamline your final build. It is slightly power creepy, I will admit, but not in a wholly negative way, and rewards you for holding onto items you normally wouldn't. The ability to make boss items like perforators somewhat easily means that you can power your build up even in a less than stellar run, and either return to your run better off, or go to the new secret boss and have an easier time there. So yes, Allied Collective is a great DLC, definitely worth picking up. It is my favorite of the 3 overall, and I will be putting many more hours into the game because of it. The new skins are also really good too, however I enjoy the rejection skins more than the acceptance ones. Acrid, as always, stays winning. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll be getting a microphone sometime soon, so hopefully the quality of these videos will only continue to get better. If there's anything you guys want to hear my thoughts on, let me know in the comments. If there's anything you guys think I could do to improve my content, let me know, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.